are not what you think they are. If you're a woman, you should understand that you don't even know what the hell you are. Women are like aliens, meaning that they have supernatural abilities to do things that nothing or anything else on this planet can do. They possess God or goddess like qualities and features and energy, and just the whole makeup is just something supernatural and magical and mythical. But the reality is, society has told us women are soft, women are gentle, women are kind, and really, women are evil. Women are dark. Women think evil thoughts, bad thoughts. They think some of the worst shit you probably could ever think of, known to anything. Just their thoughts alone. Now, that doesn't even go into their actions and the things they actually do behind their thoughts, or when sometimes they don't think. So sometimes the action is deeper than that, and they don't even think, and they just act. But the point is, women get painted out to be something that they're not. And any man who probably has been around a woman can tell you that they have a dark side, they have a negative energy, a polar opposite sometimes that is very strong, very dominant, and that just tells you that they can't be as submissive and passive as it's painted out to be, or the perception is to be. In this reality of women, I think we got the wrong understanding of what a woman is. Women are evil, they're dark, like I said, and they get them to tap into the opposite energy, so they get unbalanced. So women mostly are unbalanced because they're saying that they're feminine, which they confuse for being soft, for being kind, like I said, being nice, being truthful. And women sometimes are not truthful, and they're not nice, and they're mean as fuck. And they'll let you know what's on their mind, whether they should say it or not. You can't tell a woman what to say and how to say it or how to feel or whatever. So you realize women are a little bit more stern, a little bit more aggressive, and they're protectors by nature. That's what they really are. So they basically get women to be submissive and all this, but really they're protectors. They're like the mama bear, the mama lion, or, just like they're protectors. That's why they protect their men, or have a tendency to protect what they like. So they're getting women to basically act out of nature, act out of balance, act out of frequency. And so women aren't accepting their darkness, and they're trying to be nice, and they're trying to be friendly, and that's not what they are. When women get alone, or when they get around their friends or a group of people that they're comfortable with, they let everything out. The conversations women have sometimes just is the start of some hellbound shit, just it's a bunch of shit coming behind women and women and women and men and just women. But it's okay. It's not like it's a bad thing. It's like you just gotta accept the darkness. You gotta accept that they might have told you that you were something that you're not, and because that reality has been set for us, it's like you're trying to be super feminine, but really you need to be masculine. Now I'm gonna get on masculine. Masculine is not what it is either, meaning that they tell you masculine is strong and hard and tough and brave and courageous, and men really have to be soft and submissive to get a woman. If you think about it, a woman that plays stiff, hard, she being mean to you, probably not talking to you, giving you a stink face, giving you a stink ass attitude, you know what I'm saying? And so you thinking that you're being soft is going to work, but it's not. She really wants something to reciprocate her energy. She wants you to let her know that you're not a pushover. So you have to be kind of like mean too, or a little microaggressive, or, just to show sometimes just that, I'm a man and, this is what I stand on, Men have a sense of stability, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, they got men basically thinking that masculine is hard and tough and gotta pull up, be looking at, a certain way, all this different stuff. It's like, when really it's the opposite. So basically gotta reverse it. But they're not gonna tell you that, because if women keep being out of balance, there's gonna be more situations where people can basically benefit in this world off of things going wrong than right, So if you can't keep healthy relationships or marriages and things like that, there's somebody capitalizing off of that. So they don't care if women understand their femininity or their masculinity. They don't care if they balance that or they do anything about it. They don't care. They're not going to tell you to do that. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to tell you to understand that, So once again, feminine is not soft. It's really dark, mean, sometimes cruel. Women can get really low. Women can go low. Yeah. So, and men get told to be basically tough and what women really are. It's like we trying to play the part, but that's not really how it is either. We have to be more submissive. We have to be more caring and gentle with the woman. You know what I'm saying? If you look at it, we're having to court, them and exchange energy, but you're not trying to overpower the woman. That you could basically dominate a woman, but it's like, as a man, it's like they got us working out of context with what we're saying. So you say I'm being masculine, that's why you hear women say I'm alpha female, guys say I'm hyper masculine. It's like, yeah, you could be alpha female, but that means that you don't understand your femininity or your masculinity, and you're not balanced. So it's not something to parade around. It's like you gotta balance yourself. So yeah, women really, they're not what we think they are. And the faster women can accept what they are and not get judged and shamed and blamed for what they are, meaning that they could be the dark energy that they are sometimes they have to let that shit out. You don't know why a woman is just tripping, but she got to let it out. That's what she is. But then they're told to be a certain way, almost appear perfect, and that's not the reality. I've heard conversations from women, I've dated women, I know what the hell they talking about and what they say. And they say some of the craziest, most foul, most disgusting, most nastiest shit you could ever imagine. And that's the reality. Women sometimes are nasty. Women sometimes are gruesome. They like gruesome things. Like, women are just like, they have dark energy sometimes. I say, and that's why we as men have to learn that and then not judge that. You can't judge what a woman is when you don't understand it. Because once you understand it, you just let it be. Now, don't tell a woman what to do, how to think. Like, be as dark as you need to be. Go there. Because you're ultimately balancing me, and I'm saying how dark I need to be sometimes. When your mom is kind of like, or I say mom, or you got a sibling or sister, whatever, when they kind of spaz out in moments, or they have moments when they're emotionally out of control, it's showing you an extreme. It's showing you how in depth the emotion is going for that person. And that's why we can learn from women out of control sometimes, and then how sometimes they get out of control. You learn from it also. So either way it goes, yeah, that's that. Women need to be accepting of their true nature. Be dark, be evil. It's a necessary evil. It's like the necessary evil. Sometimes women have to be evil to survive. Sometimes that's just what they gravitate towards naturally. Trying to get a woman to be positive and think positive and all the time. It's just not realistic for that to happen. They have to have some type of thoughts that they can cipher through, because that's just how they were. With men, we kind of more, we think, but we're not overthinkers. Women tend to be overthinkers. So they have to go process and filter out the good and the bad and pros and the cons and things like that, and the outcome and how do they feel and all this. So it's like, you have to just let that run its course, man. Let that run its course, but understand what it is. That's all I can say. Women are dark.